So YouTube just announced that they're going to be age restricting video games that have a lot of graphic violence, and this sounds like it's going to be really bad for gaming channels. They made a blog post 2 days ago called YouTube's Strengthened Approach to Online Gambling and Graphic Violence in Gaming. Starting on November 17, 2025, we'll be strengthening enforcement of our community guidelines around online gambling and graphic violence in gaming. This sounds good. Kids on YouTube shouldn't be exposed to this, but graphic violence in gaming, but I'm worried about how broad this could be. Our policies are designed to evolve alongside the digital world. We're making these updates to keep pace with new trends like gambling with digital goods and to more closely align our guidelines for mature content with industry standards. So they start off with the online gambling first. Our current policy prohibits content that directs viewers to online gambling sites or applications that are not certified by Google. We're expanding our enforcement to now cover online gambling with additional items that have monetary value, including digital goods, video game skins, cosmetics, and NFTs. It sounds like this could be pretty catastrophic for the whole CSGO gambling thing that is going on. Social casino content, we're updating our approach to casino-style games where nothing of real-world monetary value is wagered or cashed out. Content that depicts, promotes, or facilitates social casino sites will now be age-restricted. And now, graphic gaming content. In addition to our existing guidelines around graphic gaming content, we will age-restrict an additional small subset of video game content featuring realistic human characters that focuses on scenes of torture or scenes of mass violence against non-combatants. The first thing I thought of right here is GTA. Obviously people play GTA, they walk around, they punch civilians for no reason, and let's say they beat up 5 civilians, I guess that would count as being mass violence against non-combatants. Other things that come to mind would be like in a Batman game, like let's say Arkham Knight, where Batman is interrogating a criminal, and obviously he's going to have to torture them a little bit to get some information out of them. And would this scene be age restricted? I don't know. And the reason why I'm showing this right now is to not only show an example of what YouTube could mean, but I actually want to see if my own video will be age restricted just by showing this scene. Let's get to a little bit more of like a violent part. I guess that he's, trying to break his wrist right there. And, that type of stuff, like, I guess that would be grounds for torture, and I guess that would mean your video would get age restricted. Now, previously, when they were talking about content that could be age restricted, they were going ahead and talking about videos that focus on just the violent part of video games. So, for example, this is a video of a YouTuber named Deji reacting to Mortal Kombat fatalities with his dad. This video already has been age restricted, so I would imagine it would be videos like this. Well, that's what the old policy was, but now they've broadened their definition on what they consider graphic violent content. So they could be age restricting a lot of videos that wouldn't be normally considered super graphic or inappropriate for kids, such as that Batman game. We'll consider several factors when reviewing this type of content, such as duration, if the graphic scene is sustained rather than fleeting. For compilation videos, we'll now consider the cumulative duration of all the graphic clips combined. So let's say you play Batman for, an hour or something like that. If there's 15 minutes of torture scenes, I believe that would be grounds for them to age restrict your entire video. Prominence, if the violent imagery is zoomed in or is the main focus of the scene. And realistic human characters, if the violence is happening to a character that looks like a real human. I'm just gonna keep using Batman as an example because it's obviously, a game, a character, a franchise that a lot of kids are interested in as well. But just going based on YouTube's own words, this ticks the boxes of everything that YouTube is saying that they would be willing to age restrict on the platform. So what does this mean for us and our content? We expect most channels will experience little to no impact, but we know this is a lot of information. We want to ensure you have time to adapt. Something tells me that this is not true, but we'll see, right? Existing videos, the content uploaded before November 17, 2025 that violates these guidelines may be removed or age restricted. So I could actually just be removed from the platform as well, but will not result in a strike. Well, that's one silver lining. You won't get a strike for each time a video is removed or age restricted. But, when a video is removed, obviously you can't make any money off of it, and you definitely can't make any money off of it if it's been age restricted either. Remember, age restricted videos can stay on your channel for 18 plus audiences, but still, take my word for it. If your video gets age restricted, you are going to make next to zero money on that video. They are giving you the option to make edits as well for creators who have content that's in scope of these updates. You may be able to edit your video description or use our video editor trim or blur tools to make any necessary changes before November 17, 2025. Again, this would be extremely difficult for video games that focus more on those types of scenes. That Batman game comes to mind, GTA, Mortal Kombat, things like that. And notifications, if we age restrict or remove your content, we will notify you by email. If you disagree with the decision, you can always choose to appeal. Now, a website called The Verge has also made an article about this, and they actually provided some additional information that wasn't included in that YouTube blog post. They were bringing up the points that we were just talking about, how they don't clarify if this applies to the violence scene in games like Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, and stuff like that. But a YouTube spokesperson did tell them in a statement that certain content may be age restricted if it's non-fleeting or zoomed in, adding that there may be ways that creators can choose to play the mission to avoid content that would lead to an age restriction. So he's basically saying, yeah, if there's a mission where that there's going to be zoomed zoomed in violence that is going to be the focal point of the mission, you should probably just not play the mission. But obviously, some video games, you have to play those missions. You're not going to be able to progress in the story without doing so. And they're doing the whole, it's for the kids thing that they always do with everything, like the whole age verification thing. So we get all that. And we know that YouTube is going to be adamant on that point of view. But to be honest, as a gamer, all I can really think about is all the gaming channels out there. I have a strong feeling that a lot of gaming channels out there are going to be heavily impacted by this. I know YouTube said, oh, don't worry, it's not going to affect too many people. They said the same thing about the age verification thing. And every single day I keep getting more and more tweets and comments saying, yep, YouTube is asking me for age verification, even though my channel is 15 years old or something like that. So it's just happening to more and more people. A lot of times when they try to like give us some sort of reassurance, like, hey, don't worry, guys, if we're making this update, it's not going to affect a lot of people. So don't worry about it. I really feel like it will. I mean, I think that especially with a lot of games nowadays, obviously a lot of games are pretty violent, right? And in terms of graphic violence and stuff like that, to age restrict content and to age restrict the entire video, that completely not only kills the video's ability to do well in the algorithm, to get pushed out, to be pushed into recommended tabs, but also you won't make any money off the video anyways. Technically, an age restricted video is not demonetized, but it might as well be because not many advertisers will advertise on it, and the video itself won't get a lot of views because, like I said, it's just not going to get pushed out in general. So let's go see some community reaction to this. The top Reddit post that's replying to this says, is YouTube really trying to find more ways just to piss everyone off? Because this is probably how they're going to piss off a lot of people. They're trying to force more and more accounts to verify so they can link them to an identity. It is pure evil. That is true. Now remember that when a video is age restricted, YouTube is actually going to force you to prove that you're over 18 to be able to watch the video. So if you're logged out, you're going to have to log in. And if you're logged in and YouTube deems your account to be for a kid, they're actually going to make you prove your identity and make sure that you're over 18 before they allow you to watch a video. So just to connect the dots here a little bit, let's say that your favorite gaming YouTuber plays GTA 5, obviously a game that could actually qualify as what YouTube deems to be things that they could age restrict, and you're watching their videos and you all of a sudden realize that all of their videos have gotten age restricted, or at least the ones that show a lot of graphic violence, which like I said in GTA will be most of the videos. You're now going to have to log in, prove you're over 18, show some age verification just to watch some GTA 5. I mean, we're going to be getting to that point on YouTube where they keep trying to push this narrative of protecting the kids, when in reality, there's still thousands of channels out there that just have full-fledged nudity. And I know people are going to be like, oh, YouTube has nudity for a while. Yeah, but those videos aren't age restricted. They're supposed to be. Those videos are supposed to be age restricted because full nudity is not supposed to be allowed to be just recommended to people on YouTube. And yet, what was one of the most viral channels of like the last week or two? Afro Zulu, which is this channel that only just got banned or maybe removed from the creator themselves after a bunch of people brought attention to it. Zero age restriction on any of the videos, even though they had full nudity in the thumbnails. But hey, YouTube's age verification is for the kids, right? So it just gets to the point where they make all these changes, trying to restrict gambling and restrict graphic violence and stuff like that. And I said, with the gambling thing, I actually agree with that. I really don't think that kids should be subjected to having gambling videos on their homepages and stuff like that. But don't make the argument that it's for the kids when you don't even moderate these channels that are getting millions of views per day without the entire community making a huge uproar about it. I mean, like I said, with that Afro Zulu channel, it took thousands of posts on Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, everywhere for YouTube to finally take it down. And even then, we don't even know if YouTube banned them. They might have actually just taken down the channel themselves. So at the end of the day, YouTube can keep making these arguments about, oh, graphic content. And, we want to make sure we keep the kids safe from violent video games and whatnot. But at the end of the day, we know that the age restriction is not going to just be on violent video games. It's not just going to be on scenes that are focusing on the violence. YouTube's AI moderation gets stuff wrong all the time. And when they should be trigger happy and actually banning stuff like that Afro Zulu channel, they don't. I've actually been sent more channels that are exactly like that Afro Zulu channel where they have full nudity in the thumbnails, but I feel like it's not even worth it for me to make a video on them because one, I usually get age restricted or demonetized just for talking about it. And two, YouTube's just not going to do anything about it anyway. So it just gets to the point where they can make all these changes with gaming and all that, but I feel like it's really going to hurt gaming creators even when they're not really doing anything wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully YouTube is true and this actually will affect little to no content creators in terms of monetization and their video growth, but I guess time will tell, right? So let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the situation in the comments. Please do leave a like in the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more. See ya.